to the Caffeine Fix PHX.
And he just called me and asked about the banana milk, because there's a grill in the front. So I got to ask, this sounds like a stupid question, but do you milk gorillas?
Defining the new normal. Stay inside. Avoid crowds. Close schools. Work from home. Takeout or delivery only. Wash your hands repeatedly. The only certainty out of all this is keeping local commerce alive. And now we rely on Arizona farmers more than ever.
I'm Kevin Danzeisen with Danzeisen Dairy.
Danzeisen Dairy. But you also do lemonades and orange juice now too, which is kind of interesting.
Yes. So we started doing that about just over a year ago. It's kind of a neat thing. We think that our packaging is what really sets us apart because it's refillable. So we started doing glass bottle milk really because of taste. We wanted it to taste better. That's a different story. But once we started doing the refillable packaging, we realized, why can't we do other products? So why can't we do lemonade and orange juice, and who knows what will come down the pike with that. But the cool thing about that, it still makes it taste better. And we source local orange juice and lemonade, and there happens to be a juicery right here in Tempe, and we bring their juice in, pasteurize it, and bottle it.
You've made your mark with your packaging. What kind of brought all that to, because in a way it's kind of old school, but it's also new school. So how did you put all that together to kind of get it to where it is now?
First of all, we wanted to make sure that we were ultra local, like people knew that. I mean, some people didn't know about the dairy industry. Like our farm is in the middle of the city, like it's in the city limits. So we knew we wanted to have that as the focus because, the reason why this all came about was basically our dairy is right across the road from houses. And I was walking from my truck into the milk barn one day, and I see our tank full of milk, and I'm thinking, why can't I sell, just the way the market worked and everything, I couldn't necessarily bottle my own milk and sell it to my neighbor right across the street. Instead, the milk went to this broad market, but I live right across the street. That milk is literally 20 yards from these people's house, but they can't get the best tasting milk that there is, fresh milk. So what are we gonna do? So that's why we came up with glass bottle milk and the old-fashioned packaging. And we knew that we had to catch people's eye to let people know that we were ultra local. And then we added the sports teams to it, and that just shows that you're from Arizona, and then the cactuses on it and everything. So, and then we work with a really good team here in Arizona from Ideas Collide to help us, develop the logo that really, I think it entails everything. A cow with a bottle as the white part markings. I think it just entails, in a simple mark, entails exactly what we do at Danzeisen Dairy.
Let's talk about your banana milk and your strawberry milk and even your chocolate milk and orange milk on occasion in season. And I don't know if the root beer's coming back or not.
Yeah, the root beer's actually coming back this spring for a little bit.
Yes.
So that seems to be a very popular one. So yeah, we started putting, so we've done root beer, orange, now we're doing banana. We have some other really good ones coming up the pike too. What we decided to do is kind of put those on a rotational. So banana will be seasonal, and then we'll pull that off and do root beer.
Why is it so good?
Well, it originally comes from just great quality milk. We're lucky to have a good environment to milk cows in. Arizona's full of really good quality milk, but at the end of the day, I didn't feel like it tasted like it should on the farms. You know what I mean? Like on the farms, it tastes different than it did in the store. So I wanted to make it taste like it did on the farm. And that's why we do glass bottle milk, because we don't have the change in the taste. But also, one of the things that people don't know about us too much is that all our creamery in the back is all equipment from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So we say we do things the old-fashioned way. So it's cold separation. It's It's making sure the milk doesn't change temperatures too much. We milk the cows, it gets cold, it stays cold all the way through the process. We're not raising the temperature, lowering it, raising it, lowering it. You know, it's a whole process thing. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of it has to really do with the glass bottles. You know, I mean, we don't have that transfer of taste, and I think one little trick that we do is cold separation. So what we found out with cold separation, well, when the milk comes into the creamery, we have to separate the cream from the skim milk. And what we've found is the cold separation has actually had so basically you bring it in, you separate the cream and the skim, and now you have two different products, right? Well, what we found out was with cold separation, the skim portion of the milk, which is the majority part of the milk, had a higher solid content when we did the cold separation. And so a lot of people think, oh, your milk's more creamy. Well, it's the same fat content, but there's a better mouthfeel because the solid content is higher in the skim portion of the milk. So our skim tastes like a 1 tastes like a 2 tastes like a whole, and whole just like everybody's like, it's so much creamier. And I think that's one of the biggest things, but that's part of the process of not skipping corners.
Butter's kind of a specialty thing, huh?
The real problem is that we don't have enough cream. All of our cream gets used in our other products. So, and because one of our really popular products are just our regular cream. It's heavy cream, and people just are buying that. So we don't have enough cream to make butter with. Really, is the deal.
Well, I have a little trick that I've taught my kids because my dad taught it to me because he's an old farmer from Texas. But we take the heavy cream, pour it into a baby food jar, add a little salt, and hand it to the kids and let them shake it for 10 minutes, and boom, you have butter.
We can tell people on camera how to make butter, and once they actually come and do a class and realize how easy it is, they can make their own butter at home. And we always tell people with our heavy cream, make your butter at home, because nothing's more, I have more people brag about their butter at Thanksgiving dinner than anything else they make. So fresh butter at home when you could put it on bread is really, really good.
It's interesting though, because it's like if you have the raw ingredients, it makes so many other things. You don't really stop to think about it because we're so ingrained in going to the store and just buying it off a shelf. It's like, hey, I can make this myself.
Right. Well, that's the American way anymore. Like we take for granted. In one ways that's bad. In a lot of ways it's good, because I always tell people I can get any meal I ever wanted, just drive 5 minutes. And that we're in extraordinary times that we're able to do that, because we take it for granted. I can get organic beef or regular beef. I can get salmon right down the road here. I could get swordfish. The other day I made swordfish. It took me 5 minutes to go drive it and go to my house and cook it. I mean, we are in extraordinary times, and we take it for granted that we can get just about anything we want at any time.
We really do. But you know, and I don't want to bring up the coronavirus, but it's like when you don't have access to those products, you don't realize what you take for granted until you don't have them.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, for sure. I tell people that all the time. You'll take it for granted unless you go hungry.
Yeah.
Once you go hungry, then it's a little bit different story.
Hey, thanks so much for taking the time. It's a
Yeah.
privilege, and we appreciate what you do to elevate the coffee scene here in town too.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right.